So I've gotten this question a lot lately, and I wanted to take some time to discuss this. How high can Shiba Inu price get here in 2025? I know that obviously this year has sucked. This market cycle, we've had some struggles in getting back to an all-time high, and it's again for one specific reason, and that is that retail has not shown up yet. But there are some promising signs here that I do want to show you guys as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this was the comment that I wanted to reference. I appreciate the comment Prizzle, I can't pronounce it. I appreciate it nonetheless. He said, do you have an opinionated price prediction this market cycle? And what I will say is that, my projections for this market cycle, if you guys remember from all the way back in the depths of the bear market, they had been through basically 3.05 through 2.01. And that was obviously a very lofty projection compared to where we're at now. You're talking about Shiba Inu doing about a 75x at the peak and about a 38x at the low side of that. Now, one thing that we haven't had really in this market cycle, apart from all the way back here in February and March of 2024, is retail adoption. We're still stuck at this point where the amount of people that are in crypto remains very much unchanged from last market cycle. Yes, we've had some institutional players come in, but for the most part, retail's stuck at 5 to 6% of the world in crypto. It's a range that's not really helping out anything meme related. And like I talked about in my video the other day, what we've seen is a little bit of dilution in terms of meme coins. Now, when we're talking about super low cap meme coins, that doesn't really matter. There's always going to be people participating in the crypto casino, the meme coin casino, and they're going to be chasing lower cap assets. But where we do have a problem in terms of memes is at the top. And what you've seen is this slow dilution of blue chip meme coins. So obviously when we look at Dogecoin, we've had Shiba Inu pull some of that market cap from Doge. It's why Doge hasn't hit a new all-time high. We look at something like Shiba Inu. Pepe has pulled some market cap from SHIB. We've had Pudgy Penguins pull market cap from all these down, right? And as each one of these meme coins has re-entered the space or has entered the space and has done well, surpassing $1 billion, sticking around $1 billion or so, it's just sucked and sucked and sucked some of the, we'll call it life out of these assets. Does it mean that SHIB is dead? Does it mean that Doge is dead? Does it mean that Pepe is dead? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But what it does mean is that we're stuck waiting for new people to enter the market. You have to remember, again, like I said, 5 to 6% of the world of people, or 5 to 6% of the world in crypto is not a very large amount. What we're also talking about is a market within a market, right? We're talking about meme coins in general, which is a small percentage of the total market cap of assets. I want to remind everybody that right now, total market cap of meme coins, $69.88 billion versus the total market cap of crypto, which is 4 trillion. All right. Very small percentage. Now, meme coins tend to perform well when the market is lively, when things are exciting, when you have that adoption taking place. But we haven't been able to trigger enough people to re-enter the crypto market. And context is very important in this. What have we dealt with throughout most of 2025? And what did we deal with throughout all the summer of last year? It was trash news, right? This year can basically be summed up in just a few short words: tariffs, economic uncertainty, quantum computing concerns, black swan events. That's all you really need to know. That's what we've dealt with time and time again. Even if we take a look at yesterday, what caused our drop in the crypto market, bad macro data, economic concerns, right? That's what basically this whole year has been about. Last year, similar discussions, high interest rates, slowing down economy, right? German government dumping, Mt. Gox concerns, right? It's just been basically a sea of basically trash news since all the way back here in March of 2024. That's a long period of time. But what you need to remember is that retail will not always be held back. They will not always be delayed in getting to the markets. They are right now. And a big part of that, I think, has somewhat to do with manipulation. And why I'm saying that is, I actually talked about this in a video last fall for the people that aren't familiar. I talked about some of these large entities wanting to get control of the exchanges, to have ETFs set in place, to have these fiat on-ramp, off-ramps in place, to have these payroll systems that they're in. They want to basically capitalize on the adoption of retail. They want to make the fees. They want to make the money. And that's what basically this whole elongated period has been about. One, making sure they're getting positions low and cheap, and they've definitely done that. But two, making sure they have everything in place for when everything does start rolling. And this is a big part of why I've said that, we're almost at this point where the market cycle, as we know it, is about done. And we're going to see just some of more of these longer extended periods, likelihood of a super cycle, right? That's kind of where we're at. Retail adoption is going to do some pretty big things. Mass adoption is going to do some pretty big things that people haven't seen before in terms of price. Now, here in 2025, you're probably wondering, sorry, I went off on a tangent. 2025. Price. How high is Shiba Inu going to get? Well, here's what I will say. SHIB has done a very good job of staying resilient at this time. Despite, just think about all those negative things I just said, Shiba Inu has not dropped off as zero. While many people said it would, I called all the way back somewhere in this mess over here that Shiba Inu would never add back a zero. And it's looking very good so far. And what we've seen is strong fundamentals for SHIB. We've seen whale accumulation, except for like the last week or so. Okay. We have a lot of people prepping for when that retail adoption does hit. We've seen huge supply removal from exchanges. The table has been set for basically a big Shiba Inu boom, kind of like we saw back here in April or February into February into March. But what's the big thing that's lacking? Retail adoption, right? So if we're not going to trigger retail adoption here in 2025, unfortunately, price is going to suck. It doesn't mean we can't go up, but it means that we're probably not going to break out of this longer term trend, right? Even right now, like let's say we get up here somewhere in September, that's only about 403. That's kind of sucks in the grand scheme of things, right? But if retail adoption is actually triggered, and you see the masses flow into the market, you see people downloading exchange apps and actually pushing capital into the space, which guys, that's when that's when meme coin percentage of market cap really tends to surge because retail loves meme coins. That's where we could see Shiba Inu dropping off a zero, moving past 301 for the first time ever. Again, setting a new all-time high. I still have the confidence that here in 2025, as long as retail adoption is taking place, we have the potential to do that. We have the potential for SHIB to hit some pretty insane highs because FOMO is a hell of a drug. Supply shock is a hell of a thing to witness in the market. And I think we'll eventually get there, whether that's here in 2025 still, whether that's early 2026. I think our window is really closing to where the market is actually going to take off and you're going to see this big meme coin boom yet again. So that's kind of my thoughts on this. It sucks that the way that this year has played out, but guys, we can't control the news. We can't control the manipulation. We just have to unfortunately sit back, watch, wait, and just understand that we need fundamentals to stay strong and eventually things are going to work themselves out. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.